Hello, everyone. This is Rose. Today's topic from the Book of Life is Ladies First. What happened to male chivalry? What happened to it? Did it end with Generation X? Let's take a look at this short story from the Book of Life. Curtis and his wife Gloria, they are having their first child. Curtis is excited to find out the baby's gender. He wants a boy. He's hoping and praying for a boy. And this is because he vowed to pass on the Jordan's family legacy of chivalry to the male offspring. He vowed to his father that this is what he would do. But in addition to that, he says to himself, if it is a girl, if our first child is a girl, he vowed to start a new family legacy by teaching his daughter what not to accept from a man. He wants his daughter to use wisdom and to be wise and to not just move off of emotions or offer false, fake promises. He wants his daughter to be able to see through the words a man is saying and see to his heart and look at his actions and his disposition and his history and all of those things that it takes to know the character of this person. So he vowed to teach his daughter that. Curtis' father, Kurt. That's a twist. So when Curtis was young, his father, Kurt, taught him the history of their family legacy when he was only 13. On young Curtis' 13th birthday, his father took him camping for 3 days. Young Curtis learned how to fish. His father taught him how to hunt for food, how to build a campfire, how to listen at sounds, and to look for signs of danger from wild animals or just nature, period. Allow nature to teach you. Because he let him know that not only do you listen to sounds in the woods, nature has a way of letting you know when danger is around. Maybe a creaking sound of some distant trees or woods. It could be an animal. Maybe the wind blowing so extremely hard, it could be a tornado coming. So he's teaching his son how to naturally see things and sense things by looking at what is given in nature. He's teaching his son how to protect himself as well as protect anyone in his care by using things, nature and things that are natural, to just be able to pick up wood and learn how to carve a weapon out of it, or just learning how to shield yourself from a wild animal through things that you find in the woods. So Curtis, he was taught these things by his father, and his father taught him also how to use different hunting knives. And the last night of Curtis camping with his father, Kurt, he told his son, he said, son, I am going to teach you the most valuable lesson of chivalry there is, which is how to treat a woman. It's more than just learning how to protect and how to watch and be that person who's have that insight to sense and to see danger, but how to treat her as well. Kurt explained to his son, this final lesson starts by hearing, then by observing. You gotta observe, and it follows with actions. He said, a woman is the mother of the earth in humanity form. Through her loins, life is reproduced. She is wise. She's strong, but yet she is soft. She's delicate. And that's how you should handle her, as a delicate person, but you need to recognize her wisdom and her strength. A man should never damage or abuse a woman. He tells him because a woman is a nurturer by nature, she will provide nourishment to a man's body with food and to his soul with spiritual encouragements. A woman is a man's lucrative investment. He said, let me break that down to you, son. He says she is a blessing to a man. She is man's blessing. What a man gives in relationship to a woman, he will reap it back 100 times, 100% in return. He says, son, what I am saying, if a man gives respect to his woman, he's going to reap respect back. He's going to reap dedication back. And he's going to reap loyalty from his woman. She's going to be dedicated to him. She's going to respect him. And she's going to be loyal to her man. But he said on the other side of that, if a man damages his woman by hurting her mentally or physically, he's going to reap sorrow, misfortune, and pain in his life. He say, son, see, a woman can be damaged mentally. It depends on how you talk to her and the words you use. If you're putting her down, if you're talking negative talk to her, if you have her with her walking around with her head down because you're constantly disrespecting her through your disposition and your words, if you're abusing her physically, touching her or in the wrong way, physically abuse, he said that's what a man gonna reap. Sorrow, misfortune, and pain. He said not only that, he said your offsprings that she birthed through her loins will not respect a man that is disrespecting or abusing his wife. Because she is the one who's carrying that baby. And that baby is picking up on the spirit that man is instilling in her. If you putting fear in that woman, if you putting sorrow in that woman, and that woman is carrying your child, that baby is going to pick that up. And when that child is birthed into this world through the loins of that woman, he says, trust and believe that child would disrespect the father. And it's not going to be because the woman is telling the child or teaching the child to disrespect his father. It's because that child is picking up spiritually and sensing things spiritually that it may not be able to articulate in words or understand in thought, but it's acting it out in its character, in its disposition. It's acting it out towards the father. So he's letting the father, Kurt, is letting his young son, Curtis, know how important it is to not abuse his woman, his wife, to handle her with care, because his reaping will not only come from the woman, but from his kids, his offsprings as well. He also tell his son, he says, son, a man should protect his woman and offsprings as well as provide. Not just protect them, but provide for them. The man is to be a provider. He said, but this is not to say that a woman should not work outside the home should you both agree on it. So he's letting his son know, I'm not putting a lot of pressure on you saying that you have to be the only source of income. He said, because if a woman, you and your wife agree that she is going to work outside the home, that's okay. But understand this, as a man, your first financial priority should always be your family's well-being. Always. It shouldn't be buying the latest car for you to drive in, to flow show in. It's okay to have a car, but you got to make sure you take care of home first. That should be your first priority. He tells his son, Curtis, he says, son, a man should open doors for a woman, pull out her chair in restaurants before she sits, carry heavy items for her, make sure the maintenance of her car is up to date. He says, son, what I have taught you this weekend was taught to me by my father from his father. He said, this legacy started with your great-great-grandfather. He says, son, it is my sincere desire that you pass down this legacy to your son someday. So Curtis was, he was sitting back reminiscing and thinking about this as his wife and him are pregnant, and he know that they have an appointment to go find out the baby's gender. So he's thinking about this. So Curtis thinks out loud to himself as he prepared to take his wife to the doctor. He says, I would teach my son the same principles about male chivalry that my father taught me, and the same principles of how to protect my family. Curtis looks up towards the sky as he says, Dad, I won't let you down. God, please give me the gift of a son with this pregnancy. So young Curtis, well, he's a grown Curtis now. He's a married Curtis. So he prepares to go with his wife to the doctor visit. And as they arrive, they have a seat in the waiting room after they announced that they was there for their appointment. And they're reading magazines. But Curtis is nervous. He's jittery because he knows this is the day I get to find out if I'm having a son. So he's a little anxious. So when the nurse comes out and she shouts, Gloria Jordan, Curtis' heart began to jump. It jumps when he hears the nurse calls his wife's name. So he immediately stands up and he reached out his hand to help his wife up from her seat. He escorts her towards the open door where the nurse is standing holding their chart in her hands. Good morning. This is my wife, Gloria Jordan, states Curtis as they approach the nurse. Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Jordan. Please follow me to room 5. Curtis follows behind his wife and the nurse towards room 5. So after they enter the room, the nurse directs Gloria to have a seat on the table as she prepares the ultrasound machine. She offered a seat to Curtis near his wife. She informed them both that the doctor will be in shortly. A few minutes later, Dr. Gordon comes into the room and greets the couple as he walks towards Mrs. Jordan. He began to examine Mrs. Jordan. Give her that brief examination they have to do each time you come. Listen to your heartbeat. Make sure your blood pressure is correct. And so forth. Ask her if she had any complications since they last meeting, that routine stuff. Curtis sitting there patiently, thinking to himself, hurry up, hurry up. Okay, this is routine. Let's get to it. Let's get to what we're here for. So as the doctor begins to prepare for them for the ultrasound, he listened again to her stomach with the scope, with the thing they put on their ears. He's listening. And as he's listening, he going, So Curtis being nervous. Is everything okay? No, it's I hear the heartbeat. I hear 2 heartbeats. They're beating systematically. He said, or is one heartbeat beating irregularly? He said, but I don't want you to be alarmed. He said, I'm used to this. Normally, this means if it's 2 heartbeats, there's possibility that you're having twins. He said, so let me get this ultrasound going so I can give you some clarity. So the nurse turns on the ultrasound machine as Dr. Gordon poured gel on Gloria's belly. Then he proceeded to roll the camera on top of the gel around on her belly. And as he's doing that, a picture appeared on the screen of the ultrasound machine. Dr. Gordon looks at the couple with a smile on his face. He said, you 2 are having twins. The 2 heartbeats I was hearing is because you are having twins. And Curtis excited, but at the same time, he got frightened because he's like, what if they're girls? Okay, it's okay. If they're girls, we're going to stick to the plan. I'm going to teach my girls what not to accept from a man. But Lord God, let it be a boy in there somewhere. So the doctor, still rolling that camera around, he said, okay, I got one baby gender. He said, this one here is a girl. Kurt was like, okay. He was happy, but he wasn't smiling. Okay. He's nervous now. Got one more baby to check. Curtis jumped a little bit. The Dr. Gordon is rolling the camera around. He said, okay, this baby here is in the way. I'm trying to find the gender of the other one. You give me a minute here. It's going to take a minute. I'm hoping to move this one out the way so I can see the other one gender. So he did. He finds it. He turns to the couple. He said, without a shadow of a doubt, this one is definitely a boy. Curtis was so happy he leaped for joy. He was so excited. He just reached his hands up to the sky and he said, thank you, Jesus. Tears ran down Gloria's face as she looks at the screen on the machine. The Jordans decided that they were going to name their twins. There was no doubt in their mind. After Curtis' mother, Brandy, and after Gloria's father, Brandon. What a coincidence. So now the Jordans bring their babies home. They do what they have to do, care for their babies. Curtis is being that awesome provider and wonderful husband to his wife. They are working this thing together. They're doing things. They are prospering. They're blessed. And now they're watching their twins grow into their teen years. They are entering from the age of 12 and soon going to become a teenager. So as they watch their twins grow into their teens, the Jordans felt extremely happy Brandon is not socially shy like his sister Brandy. However, they are concerned about his willingness to follow the path of other boys his age. 1 month before Brandon's 13th birthday, Curtis decided that it's time for the family legacy to be passed down to Brandon. Because maybe I should have did this when he was 12. Because this last year, he's been having this willingness, this eagerness to where he just want to be easily led and follow the path of the other boys in the neighborhood that's his age. But nonetheless, he was happy that his son's 13th birthday was coming near in a month. So Curtis informed his son of their plans to go camping for 3 days. Brandon asked his dad, him being this new age generation, he asked his dad, why do we need to go camping? Because I am turning 13. You know, he's from this generation where they have a lot of questions about everything you ask them to do. So Curtis, being who he is, he said, well, son, it's a family tradition passed down from your great-great-grandfather. The purpose of the camping trip is to teach you the Jordan's family legacy of chivalry. He said, I will pass on to you what my father taught me about being a man, how to protect and provide for yourself and your family, as well as how to treat your wife, the lady in your life. His son, it makes you laugh. Curtis' son tells him, oh, Dad, that sounds whack. He said, if I have to go to camp, can my friends come so we can go swimming and sleep in tents? Curtis says, son, I have plans to teach you how to fish, hunt for food, build a campfire, listen for the sounds and signs of near danger from wild animals or just nature in general, and how to protect yourself as well as protect anyone in your care by using the things that are natural in nature, and by learning how to take wood, and you can build a weapon, carve a weapon, or build a shield. Just taking the things that are natural in nature and learning how to use it to protect yourself and your family. He said also, son, you should learn how to treat and respect a woman. That is important. Oh, Brandon tells his dad, Dad, I am good on how to treat a woman. I always says thank you to Mom after she cooks for me, clean my room, and wash my clothes. I see how happy it makes her when I say thank you. He says, so I know when I get married, I know to say thank you after my wife do everything for me. He said, that's going to make her happy. He said, what more is there to learn, Dad? I don't think I need to go camping, to have a camping trip to learn how to say thank you. He said, I know you do not need to go to the woods to learn. You know, this is what his dad is telling him now, that I know you do not need to go to the woods to learn how to protect yourself in the woods, but the woods, going out into the woods, will teach you life lessons that you can bring back from there and use in everyday life. So young Brandon says, well, I'm glad you said that, because I don't have to go to the woods to learn how to protect myself in the woods, because I won't ever be going to the woods ever in life, Dad. But I don't see how these lessons learned in the wood is going to teach me how to protect myself in everyday life. Dad, he tells his father, Dad, I think you should have some fun in life. You just might enjoy going camping to have some fun. He said, maybe me and my boys, we can all go camping with you and just teach you how to have some fun. Just teach you how to relax, Dad. Maybe you need us to just kind of help teach you something. Curtis was not prepared for his son's reaction to taking him camping in honor of the Jordan family legacy. He was just not prepared for that. He didn't know what to say. He was dumbfounded. That hit him. That just made him like confused in his way of thinking. He thought Brandon would be as eager as he was at the age of 13. So he tells his son, he says, son, chivalry is so much more than saying thank you to a woman. It's opening the door for her. It's pulling out her chair before she sits. It's walking on the side of traffic. When you two walks down the street, you have to walk on the side of traffic so that she is protected and shielded from the cars. He said, before Curtis is still talking to his son, but before he can even finish what he was saying, little Mr. Brandon interrupts him. He interrupts his father. And he tells his father, Dad, girls these days, they do not care about that stuff. He says, I watch music videos on cable, and I listen to my friends' older brothers talk about girls. They all say the same thing. Girls these days are happy if you spend some time with them. They just want some of your time. They love it when you claim them publicly as your girlfriend. They want you to give them a title. You gotta say that they are your girlfriend. They love that. He's saying they also want you to take them out to parties. And when you do, they want you to wear matching colors with them. He said, and when they get pregnant, he said, because they will get pregnant. And when they do, they want you to claim the baby and act like a father. He said, they don't even care if you don't pay child support as long as you claim the baby and you say you're their father. He said, they only ask for child support when you don't claim the baby. He said they want you to compliment them by saying they look cute or as fine as heck. They want you to be with them on their birthday and on their baby's birthday. You don't even have to buy a present. He said they will buy presents, then go around and tell all their friends that you bought all this stuff for them. He said a girl especially loves you if you have a car. He said, so you see, Dad, I know how to treat a woman. He said, I know how. He said the older guys in the neighborhood are always hipping us young guys on game to how to treat a woman. They hip us. He said the videos, it informs us. I got it all down packed, Dad. I'm trying to tell you, that's what they like these days. Curtis was too through. He didn't know what to say to his son, Brandon. He did not understand really the last thing Brandon said. But he just assumed that he was talking about being taught by videos and the older guys on how to treat a woman. He just shook his head. So he tells his son, he says, son, I see you have your mind made up, and it would be senseless for me to teach or try to teach you what I was taught from my father when your mind is not even open to receive it. So Curtis was hurt. He was so hurt that later that evening he decided to talk to his wife about it. And he told his wife about the discussion he had with their son, Brandon. let me tell you, Mama wasn't having that. Oh no, Mama wasn't having that. Gloria expressed to her husband in the most respectful way she could. She said, honey, I really don't care about Brandon's preconceived notions on how to treat and respect a woman. She said, you are his father, not the neighborhood guys. I would like for you to take him on that camping trip without his friends. He does not get a say in whether he is going or not. For this household, we will follow the principles of the Bible. She says in Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6 states, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. She said, that's our foundation. That was the vow we made to each other. She said, we can't lose sight of that. We have to train him. He was not birthed into this world to train us on how to train him. She said, so he has no say in this. He's turning 13, not 33. She tells her husband what our son is going through and the way he is thinking is only a phase. It's just a phase that will constantly change based on the talk of the day from the neighborhood guys. She said, honey, I know we cannot shelter him from the world that surrounds us. However, we can counter some of the things that he hears by allowing our voice to be strong among the other outside voices that he is listening to and hearing. She said, it may appear at times that he is steering himself away from our voices and our teachings. But it's okay. We have to trust in God because we are doing the work. So we have to trust in his word. And we have to trust that when our son, if he steer away from what we're teaching him, we have to trust that when he gets older, when he is wiser, he will not depart from the principles we put and taught in him. Curtis sit back. He's listening to his wife. He said, honey, I agree with you. He said, I would not let Brandon dictate to me what he is going to do. He is going on this camping trip. He has no say in it. He said, honey, in addition to following the principles my father taught me, he said, I decided I'm going to take my Bible so that we can end each day at camp with Bible study. He said, my son needs to understand the principles we follow and where we get those principles from. So it's time for me to introduce the Bible to him. Teach him this Bible. Let him see the correlation, how we are aligning ourselves with the words and with the principle that is outlined in the Bible. The Bible is the book of life. It is our only instruction book for life. And he needs to see how we use it to navigate and move in this life, in this world. He said, and then after Bible study, he said, we would pray together. I would take my son by his hand so that we touch and agree, not only in the human form through skin, but in the spiritual form, that we are on one accord, that we touch and agree in prayer. He said, I will teach my son how to pray. Click the thumbs up and the subscribe button to receive notification for more articles from the Book of Life. Be blessed. Be safe out there. Watch your surroundings. Use the wisdom that was put in you. And have peace. God bless.